Okay, I think we're here. I think we're live. It seems like it, anyway. StreamYard says we are. So, good evening, whoever's out there watching. And I see Kingpin and Woods out there in the chat so far, but that's it. So, remember, if you don't say anything, we don't know you're out there. We got that viewer thing, participant thing under the three dots at the top, but those things don't keep an accurate count, so I don't even bother with that. But anyway. Barbecues out there. And in here on the panel, we have Kingpin. How are you tonight?
Yo.
And we also have Rob D, the New York Outcast. How are you tonight?
Doing all right. Thanks for having me. Thanks for joining us, people.
Yeah. And I have no idea what to talk about because Buck asked last night after we went off the air with the wrestling thing if we could talk about black powder guns or black powder pistols in particular, and he ain't here. So I don't know what questions he had, so there went my one idea for a topic for tonight. Hopefully he jumps in at some point. Otherwise, this is going to be a short show.
What's the difference between black powder and what do I guess they call it? Modern ammunition, smokeless powder, right?
Right. You know what they're composed of. Smokeless powder is more powerful. So you got, if you're going to load for one that's rated for black powder, you don't use smokeless powder. Because the same grains in a smokeless powder turn it in a black powder firearm, whether it's a rifle, pistol, you just made a pipe bomb. Essentially, they produce pressures that the black powder rated firearms generally can't handle.
Doesn't black powder burn slower, I believe?
That's part of the reason why. Black powder is slow burning, whereas smokeless powder is faster burning, produces more pressure, doesn't produce as much smoke, obviously, why it's called smokeless.
I don't know if you guys caught Squib's video, his antique, I don't know, firearm show or something he threw up a little while ago. But if you're into old guns, I'd say check it out. But he was showing some in there, like the conversions where they switched them over. Like, man, they want like 30 grand for some of these guns. Like, crazy. To me, it's crazy. I mean, supposedly they had $1 million gun over there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those go for a lot of money.
To me, that $1 million gun looks just like a $300 gun. Like, yeah, like, I don't know. It's got to be from who it was owned by or the history or something.
Yeah, a lot of it goes to the provenance of the weapon, who owned it, when it was made, who made it, who may have worked on it. You know, there's a whole lot of things that increase the value. It's like any other antique, for that matter. You know, look at some of the prices that some of these antique cars go for on the Barrett-Jackson car auction. It's the same thing. You know, rarity of the weapon or the firearm or the car. You know, all that.
Yeah, in some sense, but I don't know. Yeah, seems like whatever. Yeah, you're probably right, but I think the slide's a little bigger on some of those older firearms and maybe even the auto. Like you could buy a Beat Classic, you know, for, I don't know, you can buy a cheap one and a nice one, and the distance isn't as far as with some of these firearms from what it looks like. So if I'm making any sense, probably not.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
What's going on, Jay?
Yeah, man.
Sorry I'm late, man. I was watching this wrestling biography on the NWO. Oh, it's
Uh,
pretty good. I hated to turn away.
the
Oh,
one
is
on
that all
A&E.
tonight?
Yeah, it's like the WWE whatever biography things, but they're doing Eric Bischoff and the NWO right now, and showed the very start of it all when
Mm-hmm.
Scott Hall came over to
Yep.
WCW, and then Nash, and then there's the surprise bomb when Hogan come out. I just got done watching the first time Hogan came out. Man,
Yeah.
that was some crazy
Hogan.
times.
Hogan was supposed to be Savage's tag team partner against Hall and Nash, and he turned on him.
Yeah, he's like 2 leg drops in a row on
Uh-huh.
Macho Man. Yeah,
Yeah.
crowd was going nuts, throwing stuff at him. It was crazy.
What's what's the chemical that they use for like old fashioned flash photography, like old school flash photography?
Uh, like the real Flash, where they had like a trough and they lit it.
Yeah, uh-huh.
It was probably gunpowder or something, wasn't it?
I'm not sure what they.
I don't recall ever knowing.
Yeah, I
I
don't know if
don't
they
think they
use
would
black
invent
powder.
something special for the
I don't.
camera.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
they'd
know if
use
they.
what they had.
Yeah, I don't know if they were using black powder or something else. To be perfectly honest with you.
Well, black powder is all they had. They didn't have smokeless powder. So
Well, there was other things that they had that they could burn, but I'm not sure what it was. Uh,
I don't know. Maybe it was something else. Maybe it was some other kind of something that burns, like a road flare or something. I don't know.
It's called flash powder, and
well,
it's basically just a bunch of incendiary stuff.
flash powder, depending on who's selling it, was black powder because
Well,
some of the stuff that would be labeled flash powder back then, it
I,
was basically the same thing.
when I looked up for like I put cameras in the search as opposed to just like explosive powders or whatever,
Hmm.
and they went on this long diatribe about how photography became a thing and da 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 all that crap, and they used the term flash powder. Then when I looked up flash powder, it gave me more of a modern definition, but the definition seemed more like pyrotechnics kind of stuff, like stuff you'd probably mix in with firecrackers and crap like that.
Yeah, yeah. And flash powder's been used for like fireworks and stuff too. So it's very closely related. I know, but I don't. I guess yeah, you would get a bigger flash from flash powder than you would black powder. But flash powder, you're not gonna isn't gonna have as build as much pressure as what black powder would.
Okay, can I ask what brought this up?
Oh, Buck was supposed to come on tonight because he had questions about black powder pistols, and we just went down this road. I don't know what I don't know what Buck's questions were, so we just started a conversation on the subject because Kingpin asked what the difference between black powder and smokeless powder was.
One doesn't smoke that bad.
One's higher pressure than the other. One burns faster than the other.
How about, hey Rob, would you ever get into, old antique firearms and uh, black powder guns and stuff? Is that anything that would ever interest you as a part of your hobby?
Uh, yes and no. I, I don't know. I could see myself coming across something cheap or whatever and messing around with it just to do so, but definitely not a collector of them. No way I'm spending thousands of dollars on anything like that. So I don't have it. Doesn't draw me like it does some. I'll put it that way. I think it's kind of neat, mechanical, cool, nostalgic, but just not practical. Other than something to play with. And in that case, there's other stuff I'd prefer to play with. If that makes any sense.
Oh,
No,
you know,
that's precisely what I was looking for. Like, my next question would have been the like muzzle loaders for like rifles and stuff like that. But then you kind of answered that as, yeah, I'll play with it, but I've got other stuff on my list I'd rather play with. No, that answers my question perfectly.
yeah, if you just want one to try it out, to play around with, the traditions would probably be where you'd want to start. You're not going to put as much money into it as you would like with a new Birdie or a Pieta for one of the replicas.
Yeah, I'd be happy with one of those Walmart specials where you get the whole kit deal, or
That's the traditions. The traditions are the ones that usually come.
something like that would be fine for me. I'm sure Squid would laugh me out of the range with something like that, but I don't care.
Well, man, let me tell you, I tried playing around with one of the muzzle loaders one time. My friend had one, and he knew what was going on, so I ran out there to Walmart or Myers or somewhere, and I bought one so we could go deer hunting. Shotgun season was over, so you had to have a black powder primitive weapon. So we went black powder deer hunting, and I do not recommend it. It sucks. That gun, you'd load it up. You could load it up out in the garage, load it up out in the house, load it up, go out back to the barn, pull trigger, bang. You load that gun up and you go walk around out in the woods for a little while, and a deer comes out and you pull that gun up and it don't go bang no more. It just goes snap, because the cap would go off and the gun wouldn't. I missed a few deer on that trip. I had one come up out of a bush and damn near came down on top of me, and then didn't run away, just stayed there. And I pulled up to shoot it, and it didn't go off. Dude, I could have flipped the gun around and used it like a ball bat and beat this deer with it. He didn't move. He still was within 10, 20 feet of me, right? I unloaded that whole gun, reloaded it back up, pulled it up real fast, couldn't believe he was sitting there, heart's just a pounding, I'm going crazy. Snap.
Yeah.
Didn't go off. Oh, I was so pissed.
Okay.
Walked all the way up to the house, told him what happened, tore that gun all apart, cleaned it, soaped it up, washed it, dried it, put all the powder and everything back in it in a ball, packed it up, reached out, pulled trigger, fired right then and there.
Okay. I had a couple questions for you on that front. What was it damp out that day? Like, had it rained?
Yeah, there was snow everywhere. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it was
it
humid and whatnot?
It was dampening the powders. What would happen after an hour or so, the gun wouldn't work.
Yep. I was going to say either the powder got damp or it wasn't seated out properly and it came loose from the primer.
Hey, check
Yeah,
this
the
out.
one suicidal deer in his area, and he couldn't even get the job done.
Hey, check this out. That gun, when I brought it back, I was like 3 hours from home. Once I got back here, I was messing with it. Well, I had that little kit where you put it like I don't know, it's kind of like a little screw, and it goes in the end of your ramrod, and you can extract a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
You can pull the ball back out. I tried doing that to unload it, and I couldn't get the ball out, and I ended up snapping my push rod in half.
Damn.
So the push rod stuck in the gun on a packed up, loaded deal screwed into the ball. Can't get that out. I packed the whole thing up in a box and took it back to the store and got my money back. Handed them a loaded gun. Here you go.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing with the rifles. The rifles, particularly the cheaper made ones.
Well, this was this wasn't super cheap.
I'm not saying it was. I'm
this
saying
was
the cheaper you get, though, the more likely you are to have something like this happen. So all I was saying, I didn't say you cheaped out on it, Jason.
I don't remember the name. It was a Thompson, or it was something. But anyways, about 25, 30 years ago, that was $175. And I think they had like $100 ones at the time, but that was like $175 one.
Yeah, yeah, the $175. That is cheap on the black powder rifles front. You can spend as much on a good black powder rifle as you would a good bolt action rifle. They can get expensive.
Yeah, but black powder is I don't know, not very reliable.
No, it's not. That's one of the reasons why they came up with smokeless powder. Black powder, it's dirt. It's extremely dirty. Smokes like all hell. And if it gets wet, it's done. It's not gonna fire.
Hey, when it shoots though, it's fun. When it goes off, it goes off.
Oh yeah, you get a nice big fireball and a big cloud of smoke from it.
I wouldn't mind one of them blunderbuss, something like you can stuff rocks, marbles, gravel into. Like that would be kind of fun to play with. Yeah, I'd probably have more fun with that than the average, black powder gun.
I've seen people shoot bolts out of high points and shit.
What were you gonna say, Kingpin?
Why can't I take one of my modern guns apart and put it in the dishwasher? Squib can take his Uberti apart and put it in the dishwasher.
Well, you can. You just got to be really careful with the polymer framed ones.
Okay, what if I put my CZ75 in there, which is all metal? Or not even in the dishwasher. Just I wash it in the sink with soap and water.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, yeah, there ain't no problem with water on a firearm, man. It's like you're not leaving it on there forever. You ain't gonna rust it and run it. But the thing about it, putting that crap in your dishwasher, it is gunpowder, your gun cleaning chemicals, all that stuff. That's poison as hell. You know what I mean?
Washing it with soap and water, really.
Yeah, but put it in the dishwasher, you're just kind of like contaminating the thing that your dishes go in. There's a lot of poisons in that. But
if you were rich and had two dishwashers.
Yeah, if you had two dishwashers, have no
like that,
yeah.
Some of the more modern cleaning supplies are non-toxic. You can actually eat them. So
hey, I saw this in a magazine once, and I did it years ago. I took my computer keyboard and threw it in the dishwasher, man. Came out looking like brand new.
Yeah, I don't recommend.
Rich White is not endorsing eating any type of anything at all. He's not giving out any kind of health advice at all.
Like I said, you got to read the labels. Don't go drinking CLP, folks. That's not a good idea.
Hey, let natural selection take its process.
So, Jason, on that keyboard, did you stuff that back in the box and take it back and get your money back?
No, dried it out. It worked. Remember back when keyboards were white? Your computer was white and stuff.
Yeah, those.
And they get all nastier and your keyboards and stuff. Well, I had one that was shitty, and I was just reading one of my computer magazines, and they showed it, and stick it in the dishwasher, man. Yeah, I stuck it in there, and you just let it dry out, and
I don't recommend it with modern keyboards, especially if you got a mechanical keyboard. You will fuck it up. There was one of the tech channels recently did that, and they screwed the keyboard all up. Modern keyboards do not do that, folks. Do not put your modern keyboard in the dishwasher if you value that keyboard at all.
But dishwashers have come a long ways too. If he's talking about 20 years ago or something, 20, 25 years, and yeah, the quality of our dishwashers has advanced quite a bit as well. So just throwing that out there.
Well, I thought you're the one that said you always got to get the older stuff because the older stuff's built better, Rob.
Well, I think yes, in most cases, but not every case. The newer ones will probably work better, but they're crap in 3 years.
I was thinking of you the other day, Rob, when I was at my gun store. I picked up a couple Smith & Wesson M&Ps, the metal one. It's kind of like grayish silver. It was the old metal one. And then they handed me the competition model, the Jerry Michalik one. Yeah, I tell you, both of them guns is fucking junk.
Well, anyway, let's say hi to Buck. He jumped in. How are you tonight, Buck?
I'm doing all right. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Kingpin brought up a CZ. My son got himself a CZ this past week.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, he got himself the 75B Omega convertible.
Oh, classic.
Did it come with a man bun?
No, it did not.
Okay.
I
know what it did come with. A better trigger than them Smith & Wesson M&Ps.
I'm going to say no on that one.
It came with a metal frame. The Smith & Wesson just now realized was a thing.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say no on that one, Jason, with the trigger. I do not like the reset on his pistol.
Yeah, well,
the trigger reset is not good on that.
I'm hacking on them Smith & Wessons, man. The gun looked, the first one I grabbed was the all metal one. And man, it looked really cool, man. It was like gray and black. And man, it looked really cool. It felt kind of okay. It was still top heavy, like a polymer gun would be, even though it's got the metal frame. It was just still a little top heavy on it. It just had the flat top, just, very cheap, basic sights, almost like Glock sights on it, you know what I mean? But the trigger was horrendous, man. It was like from the very second you pulled it, there's like toy guns for kids that got smoother triggers than that. It was just terrible. And I don't really like striker fire anyways when it breaks, but even when it was like not cocked so it wouldn't reset, just the movement of that trigger was gritty as could be everywhere, right? I'm like, man, that trigger sucks. And they're like, here, try this one. This is what Jerry Michalak's shooting. And they brought out that gun, handed to me, and it's real weird looking, man. It's got like a longer slide with an angled front thing under the barrel, and the slide's all caught open on the top and everything. And I was like, that's kind of interesting. Pulled it up, had a little better sights, pulled it up. It had the same nasty trigger in it, just a little bit lighter was all. But it was just terrible, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, these guns are shitty as hell. And all they did was smile at me at the gun store. I took it back. I mean, that's a competition model that Jerry Michalik uses himself. That's poor, man. Even for striker fire, there's a lot smoother triggers than that. Those were terrible. It's almost like there was like notches and bumps in it everywhere in the trigger pull. It was just terrible, man.
Speaking of Smith & Wesson, I got that at the Great American Outdoor Show. Not the rounds, the loader. Anybody want to guess what that's for?
Sharpening knives.
What's that, 7 rounds? It's the 686.
No, it's not 7.
I can't see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's stupid. No, put that away.
Eight of them
shot.
there.
One of them looks like, okay, now I see it. Your thumb was one. Okay. How much is the 365?
Yeah, no, those are a little bit too big for a 365.
So when the
Looks
speed loaders,
goofy.
you
You
just
said
put them in one at a time and it just snaps off.
No, you do 5 and then 3. Yeah, you put in.
that's a loader,
Yep.
like a speed strip type deal, or just
Yep. Yeah,
strictly?
you do. You put the
You're
5
supposed
in
to carry
first.
that shit in your pocket.
Yeah, you carry it in your pocket. You put the
Good
5
lord.
in. You ever see a regular speed loader?
Yeah, I just it's bulky as hell. Like
Yeah.
that and all spread out. Like your keys get caught on it. Anything thrown in your pocket, it just looks big and bulky as hell. Like it
Yeah,
seems like you can easily fit 2 magazines without getting jacked up in the same footprint.
I just
So
carry 2
how
revolvers.
do they attach to it, Rich?
you just pop them in there. I mean, I don't know if you can really see it there, but the
Blow your
rim.
screen up.
Yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? Yeah, I don't know if you can see the base there. Yes, you feed them into those holes, and there's
yeah.
little like fingers that grab around the rim
Yeah.
and hold them in there.
See, I never saw one like this. I've seen straight strips before. And you just work each round into the cylinder, but
Yeah, this is a new one. The company that makes them just came out with this.
Thought you could do 2 at a time with the strips, but my concern is that just looks big and bulky, man. Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah. Anyway, the way you do it, you do 5, rotate the cylinder a little bit, then you do the last 3. That's how that one works.
So is that any quicker than the solid round one, speed loaders?
I wouldn't know. I can't find a solid round one for the gun this is for.
What gun is it for?
627.
Oh,
I was close enough.
Yeah, trying to find a speed loader for one of those things is like finding a needle in a haystack. And when I do find them, I don't have the money to buy one anyway.
well, do you like it?
But this strip, it works.
Mm.
It's
Sure.
faster than reloading one at a time.
Serves your purpose with what you're using it for and what you got and what you were able to access.
Yeah, basically.
Guess that's what matters. I think it's goofy, but
a
yeah,
little tiny
that's just
LED
me.
light in the middle of that would be cool.
Video incoming.
Man, I still got a bunch of other shit I got to do videos on yet. Still got a few from the Great American Outdoor Show I still got to get edited.
Is that like a hard plastic or rubber or something?
It's like a hard rubber foamy type material.
He'll explain in detail when he puts the video out, Rob.
All right, yeah, I'll wait. All right.
I'm not sure how to describe it. It's like a hard foam rubber kind of material. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. That's basically what it's like.
It's made out of dong material.
it's whatever was left over from Rob's car he was going to make.
Do you still want to do some black powder talk, Buck?
Hell yeah, but I got one for y'all. Oh, everybody.
You're robot
You're a
now.
robot, yeah.
All right, if everybody was there,
You're robot and still, Buck.
okay, I'm going
Melt some of them wheel weights into an antenna.
back.
You were all right a minute ago. I don't know what happened.
Can
Not just
Nice.
barely
Nope.
getting it.
No, he's going. G23's out there in the chat. Moo's out there in the chat. Leo Red's out there in the chat. So, what else have I missed? Anybody? Christmas 740's out there in the chat. I don't think I sent him a link. I don't know if he's able to jump in or not. If he's working tomorrow, he probably won't. But I did forward that to him real quick. If he wants to jump in.
You guys catch his show last night?
We were doing ours.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I saw you guys were on there, and we were in the middle of WrestleMania.
It wasn't WrestleMania.
Well, for Rob, that's close enough.
You won't know the difference.
Yeah, close enough. Like I say, you just let me know when it's like female mud wrestling night or something. Then I'll stop by.
Man, Jason, man, get on the co-host thing, man. I was away from the screen, and you could have let Buck in.
Oh, I didn't know I had.
I know. I've been knocking for a damn 20
Yeah.
minutes. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, you're a lot better.
All right. All right. My question is, if everybody here on the panel was at the gun range, and Jerry Mikulich was down there, how many rounds would you get off time he finished his? And
Probably
be
2.
honest.
How many
Yeah.
rounds? Where we started? 10 round mag?
Yeah.
Or
Just
Or we're talking about a double action revolver?
No, we're going to say 10-round magazine. And he's
In
got
what
that
gun?
Smith & Wesson that Jason keeps talking about.
What
With the
gun?
shitty trigger. It don't
Does it-
matter what gun you got.
Don't matter what gun.
You can have a fully automatic gun.
Now, does
Well-
it have to be fair, or can we pay somebody to be a decoy to go grab his ass or something?
Now, this is straight up just you against him.
You trying to get somebody
dang.
shot, Rob?
I don't know.
Rob-
Yeah, maybe 4 rounds of his empty mag. I don't know.
Rob's trying to get somebody shot. I just want to point that out right now, telling somebody to go grab Jerry's ass. And
Honestly, an honest, real answer, I believe, because of how fast Jerry Michulik is on a 10-round magazine, I bet you could get 2.
that's what I said.
I would say 3 to 4. You're really putting some effort in it to catch his 10. I think he's that much faster than you. His splits. Yeah, I think 3 to 4, and you would probably feel real damn good about yourself. You're never gonna be up there at 5, 6, or 7 shots to his 10. His splits are gonna be lightning quick, man. You won't even have got your finger on the trigger yet before he's fired. So I would honestly say 3 or 4.
All right, I got a couple of questions to pad this with, Buck. Are we talking about pointing down range, ready, go, or are we talking about draw from a holster?
Draw from the holster. You and him, one-on-one.
Okay, if I'm using, say, my Shadow 2 or my PPQ or the APX, one of my guns with a real good trigger, drawing from a holster, he's gone before I get my first round off. He's empty before I get my first round off, or right about the time I get my first round off. Pointed down range, aimed at the trigger, ready, set, go. I probably get with one of my guns 2 rounds, 3 maybe. If I'm using the exact same gun as him, 3, maybe 4. From a holster, maybe 1, maybe. That I don't draw from a holster in practice. When I go to the range, I'm just having fun paper punching. Other practice kind of stuff, I don't put a gun in the holster. I just kind of like hold it and stuff like that. But at my range, 99% of my shooting is just paper punching, pointed down range kind of stuff. You can't draw from a holster or rapid fire. So I had to draw from a holster against Jerry Mitchell, I'd be lucky if I got one round off.
Yeah, drawing from the holster is something you want to practice at home anyway. A lot of people practice that while they're watching TV when they get home from work or what have you.
It's a. I don't think the holster draw is too slow. Anybody's gonna do it in a second. It's the fact that we're gonna take a shot and we're gonna get recoil and we're gonna get muzzle flip and we're gonna be waiting on them sights to drop back down into our picture and then pull the trigger again. And that takes time as to where he's shooting. He's not gonna have any muzzle flip. His fingers are 3 times as fast as yours, and that gun's just gonna sing in his hand as to where we're shooting, recovering, shooting, and recovering. He's just gonna blast away. So like, I'll just stick to that. I think really, if you got 3, that would probably be it. I think if you get 4 shots, you're good yourself.
I gotta pick that apart a little bit. We're talking about straight mag dump. We're not talking about hitting steel, just getting a bullet out of the end of that chamber as fast as possible. So you're not really gonna have to deal with the muzzle flip, is because you're just pulling trigger. Bah, 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 bah. You don't care where the rounds go. Now, if we're talking about even hitting a piece of steel every shot, that's a whole nother story.
Well, one thing I've came across and experienced is fast as we think we are and can shoot. Man, these kids that are only like 20 years old that don't even know what they're doing, they're way faster at mag dumping than we are, man. We're old men and we need to admit it. Like, Rob knows.
Real quick, we joined out there in the chat by Mr. Gizzard Gary and Tim S. So, evening, gentlemen.
Hey Tim, hey Gary.
Speak for yourself, Jason. I shoot my son when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, my trigger, I can shoot fast. Doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily hit everything I'm aiming at, but I can pull the trigger. I'm nowhere near as fast as Jerry Mitchell. Don't get me wrong, but my trigger finger ain't that slow.
Oh no, man. I bet he could knock off 10 shots
Yeah,
in 3 seconds. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? I bet he could. So I mean,
who? My son or Jerry?
Jerry.
Oh,
easily.
yeah.
Hell, he's got the world records like just a second or two of a revolver.
Well, there's one record that he doesn't have. Kentucky Ballistics has. I don't know. Jerry's the one that timed him on it. Fastest empty in a Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum, and he did it with the goddamn 3-inch version. He
Yeah.
unloaded that in under a second.
Yeah, but Jerry Mitchell looks like 70 years old. 500 Magnum, man. That's
Yeah.
pushing it. As
Well, Jerry shoots 500 Magnum.
yeah, I know, but still, that's pushing it for a speed contest.
I think that the fundamentals are the same, I guess, if you break it down, the actions, this and that, the average person, their speed. But, he's got a lifetime experience of that, so I know I would definitely not expect to be in the same category with him. I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't beat me with a revolver, with me using a pistol. So,
Yeah, that's with reloading.
yeah, just because, I watched some of them videos. I'm just in awe. Like, sure, sometimes you have good runs. You think you're fast. I mean, you are fast, but it's
Yeah,
staying next to him. I think that's going to be humbling for 99.9% of people.
There's a video out there somewhere. Jerry was just for fun had a 9mm pistol. The guy that he was shooting against had a 9mm loaded with the 10 rounds, like we're talking about. Jerry used the Smith & Wesson Model 10 with a speed strip and beat the guy.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
I think the only way you're going to beat Jerry in a shooting race is one of your bullets is going to have to go into him. You're going to have to
You just
slow
pay
him down
somebody to
somehow.
grab his ass or something. Get him distracted, throw him off.
I seen Jerry go up against a bump stock, AR-15 bump stock, and he just used his regular pistol.
Mhm.
Same amount of rounds. That guy beat him within a thousandth of a second. And I can't remember how many rounds they had, but he just did beat him.
And when you're talking about something like this, even a second is a huge difference. Yeah, when it comes down to some of this stuff.
Oh yeah, it ain't just Jerry. Man, all them top pros could shoot way faster than you could ever believe. That's why they got their little timers, and you look and you see, and they 10 rounds is nothing but 2 seconds to any of them pros.
Yeah. Who was that really good shotgun shooter? Can't remember his name.
Kingpin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that guy they call Tactical FUD, man. Shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've seen Kingpin's videos of that.
The guy I'm talking about, he was doing an exhibition one time he was on a outdoor channel or something. They were at a shotgun exhibition. He had a single shot shotgun. Did 3 clays, boom, 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 with a single shot. I'm lucky if I can get 2 with a semi-auto or a pump gun.
Oh, you
But
going
that
to
dude
find
was on
that?
speed, man. He was taking them, what are those White Cross pills they sell at the gas station?
Don't eat like a dozen of them. You'll get sick and you won't be able to go to sleep.
Yeah, Moo got it.
Just
Tom
saying.
Knapp. Yeah, Tom Knapp, Moo. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you. That guy was Jerry Mitchell with a shotgun. I mean, Jesus.
Oh, Tom Knapp,
Yeah.
old timer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Since we're talking about similar stuff, Annie Oakley, I'm sure everybody's heard of her.
Uh-huh.
Have you heard the stories about how she had like customized guns where they were smoothbore shotguns, but they looked like a 22? Like, I heard there was some trickery going on with her performances. Not trying to discredit her or anything, but because it was a show, it was the way of life, how you make money or whatever. And she probably, from the looks of things, she probably outshoot me. But you think there was any funniness going on with that, where they were, making like 22 shot shells? You know what I mean? Something like that. Kind of.
For when she was with Buffalo Bill's Old West show, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But she shot competition too, and competition, they had a lot of rules just like they do now, and they would inspect people's guns and stuff. She wouldn't have got away with it in competition.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to go toward. Like, anything legit was probably legit, but anything Hollywood was guaranteed suspect whenever necessary.
Yeah, I agree with that because it was like the sideshow era, you know what I mean, and the freak show era, and the things. It was all a promotion, a put on, you know what I mean. So if they could rig it, they'd rig it.
Hey,
Just
y'all. Let's come up with a challenge tonight. Something all of us can do. Something like take 10 matches, put them out there, shoot a 22, light them, and then shoot them out. Something like that.
With my 22 12 gauge?
Yeah, whatever you want.
I don't want to try that with a 12 gauge, Rob. You're not going to have any matchsticks to light.
Or something of that
It
nature.
happened so quick you didn't even see it, man. It ain't my fault.
So what do y'all think? Y'all think something like that would work?
What did you say? What was the challenge?
Yeah, he
Something
hasn't
like,
come up.
well, I'm just saying something like put 10 wooden matches out there. Take a 22, shoot them, light them. After you get all of them lit, you have to come back and shoot them again to blow them all out with the 22 or something.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool. I couldn't participate in that because the only place I could do that at is way back in the woods, and that's too much work. But I'd be happy to judge all y'all's videos.
I'm not even saying it has to be that. You can do some, figure out something we can do at the range, and then
No,
come
you
back.
had your chance, Buck. You had your one shot. That's enough.
Problem I would have would be getting to the range with not being able to drive in my wife's work schedule. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass to get there.
I do like the idea of a
Always got excuse.
some type of
Well-
challenge that we could do.
Part of the problem is we don't have an actual real public range around here. Any of the ranges you go to are paid ranges. And there's none within walking distance, Rob.
Rich, you live in the damn mountains. There's got to be a holler or something around there you can go down in and shoot.
I live in an actual city, Buck, so yeah.
Shoot 5 times, get the hell out of there.
Yeah, you got a Walmart. What do you mean you ain't got a place to shoot?
I've got the challenge all you guys can do. I even got a name for it already. We'll call it the Have a Nice Day Challenge. Remember in Lethal Weapon where Riggs shoots the smiley face into the silhouette target?
Mm-hmm. Didn't oh shit! Somebody just did one of those challenges. I forget who it
Orange
was.
Nine.
Yeah.
Oh, did they? Who?
Yeah. He was giving away Barkeep, wasn't it? Or something along those lines. No, the Bobcat. He was giving away a Bobcat.
Man, I do that all the time, just warming up. I got some silhouettes that got like a little head, a black area for the head up there. And
Well, that seems a little racist. Holy shit, Jason.
I'll start doing a
Rob's in here, dang it.
I'll start doing a face, and I'll get the eyes, the nose, maybe one of the mouth. Everything's going perfect. Then I'll screw the whole thing up. So then I reload to a new magazine, and I do a little drill called Erase the Face, and I just shoot the whole hell out of it and just get rid of the whole head on it. I used to call it, I grab a new magazine, I call it 15 to the face. But I always start out trying to draw a face, get about halfway, screw it up, and then just basically erase the face.
Another thing you guys could do is just go to the county fair and do that shoot out the star thing.
Though I would like to try, I do need to go try, I would like to try doing a face now that I got red dots. Because that could change it completely.
Oh, this is all red dot free. Iron sights. I knew that would get you. Matter of fact, you have let's do the smiley face, but you have to be blindfolded.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, right.
What does
About
it
time
matter?
y'all get down to my level.
The face on the target is smaller than the sight on the end of the gun anyway, so I guess it don't matter.
Before you horned your way into the blind victimhood of YouTube gun community barbecue, I did a shooting blind challenge. Thank you.
About time the other 5 of you got in here on this, other than Kingpin.
Much better, much better. Screw those dudes.
Hey, man, I got
Exactly.
a shooting blind video up. I used a smoke detector, had taped off glasses, and it was horrible.
Hey, I did a describe a gun blindfolded challenge that Patriot put out.
Yeah, that's when I did the shooting challenge just the same time that was going on.
I remember listening to that video that Rich did. He's like, all right, so right here, I have a Smith & Wesson MMP9.
No.
And we're like, oh, that's
Rick-
not quite how we wanted you to describe that, bud.
No, I don't even own an M&P 9.
Rich doesn't always pick up on.
Bless you.
I do.
I know what he was talking about.
Yeah, Rich said he had a M&P, but it was really a fucking High Point. He just
No.
thought so.
It was an H&P.
Even a blind guy should be able to tell that.
I got 3 M&Ps. 2 of them are in 40 and one's in 380. I don't have one in 9. So, but yeah, I know where he.
You should get rid of the.
Joke.
You should get rid of the 240s.
Mm-mm.
Go in like 45. I would say get one in 10 millimeter, but with my experience with the 10 millimeter so far, I mean, really it's just a crapshoot at this point. But I'm still waiting for that to come out in the metal version, anyways.
So Kingpin, what can you do at your shooting range besides just punch holes?
That's it.
You can't move around or anything.
No. Okay. There's on the pistol side. All you can do is point down range and shoot at paper targets. And then on the rifle side, you can kneel, lay down, stand up, shoot on top of the box, shoot inside the box. As long as the barrel's over the red line and your body's on the other side over the red line, you do whatever you want. But you can only do 1 round every 2 seconds, so no rapid fire. You can't hang balloons or tin cans or none of that stuff, just strictly paper targets.
No rapid fire at an outdoor range?
It's county run.
I'm gonna say you can't rapid fire at my outdoor range either. Actually, any of the outdoor ranges around here prohibit rapid fire.
So basically, Kingpin needs to take a road trip up to my area, so we can go roll around and shoot and do whatever. As long
Oh
as
boy,
don't
we
shoot
can-
each other.
Rapid fire, all 7 shots in a row.
Yep,
Hey, Rob,
dropping the bolts too.
Man, that didn't sound too good. You inviting Kingpin up there to roll around with you?
I know, right?
Oh man.
That ain't for everybody.
By the
If
way,
you're lucky, he'll get out his secret car and his mother's panties will drop. Like how he's all quiet now. Come on, Rob.
Hey,
By the way,
let's
Barbecue,
open
you
a
do that.
star sign. Like the big ones too, not the little ones. They were on sale.
What was that, Kingpin?
you get bragging rights last night. You and Buck won the what is it called?
The
Elimination
Predictions.
chamber.
the
Predictions.
predictions. Yeah,
Was
the
it?
predictions.
You both ended up with 5 correct predictions.
Thought they had 4.
Well, the Roman Reigns made it 5.
Oh, okay.
Out of how many?
6?
Matches?
5? 6?
5.
I say there was a couple that Buck and I disagreed on. I thought so.
No, you and Buck were pretty much in lockstep.
You actually got a technical diddly because you picked one of the match is going to be screwed up and isn't really going to end well.
Yeah.
Things that.
Oh yeah, because you gave Rich a point. I was like, well, heck, if Rich's getting a point, I'm taking my point for that too. Then
Yeah.
I say that was the Lesnar Lashley match.
Now, if Buck wanted to protest that, I mean, it could be possible that we get to take your point away and award.
I
Buck
want to
points.
protest. I want to be the
Okay, we take
sole winner.
We're taking your point away, Barbecue and Road. That means, Rich, you
That
only
means-
get half a point. I'll give you that half a point you wanted after all. Then, Buck, you're the champion.
I say you got to take Rich's point away, but we all know what happens when you take points away from Rich. Remember that time that he was doing that bracket or whatever on his channel?
Oh, man,
And
the meltdown
Ruger was
deal.
winning, so then he had Gizzard and Obnoxious One come in. And they pulled out the briefcases at 3 a.m. and
I didn't
redid the
just
vote.
have them jump in. They
Yep.
already had those links
The
before
pool
that happened.
was full of votes.
They just used their links to come in and
See?
protest.
Even Rob remembers this.
Oh yeah.
We went back a full round. We didn't even go back a full round. Rich was just like, "Oh, look, we missed
They
these
came
votes."
in and yeah, they came in and rewrote the rules halfway through.
If we're talking about historical evidence, it was, I don't know how much more, but it was definitely more than halfway through. It was almost over the bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at least
pretty much.
3/4 of the way
And then
through.
they pop in and like, oh hell no.
Really, this whole chat should just be called Dominion Unloaded now.
Oh, jeez. Woods out there saying if we do a shooting challenge, you should be dressed as a wrestler.
I'll do it. I mean, if you're telling me I get to wear my luchador mask and be shirtless while I shoot, this is going to be a great time. I'll even get biker shorts. I don't know if I'll go full speedo. People don't need to be subjected to that much horror, but I could do the biker short thing.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
You're crazy
Oh,
ass.
Buck, we already know how to.
In court.
We already know how to pacify Buck, anyways. All we need is a little belly button piercing.
On that magazine, yes, sir. We ain't going back to that show again, are we?
No.
Okay. All right. So somebody come up with a challenge then. Get the audience to vote. Put a poll up. What kind of challenge should we do?
I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't think any of us could complete the Have a Nice Day challenge. I mean, granted, we'd have to kind of set up some rules for that because, I mean, if you really wanted to take your time with that, and, well, hell, if you really wanted to cheat it, then you could sit down with a scoped rifle and stuff, I guess. But, if it was that one, we need to see how quick Riggs shoots the smiley face in the movie. And at that point, add on like 15 seconds, be somewhat reasonable. None of us are mythical movie character. And then require it be done with a handgun, nothing long gun or anything like that.
Whoa. We didn't get any requirements of what Rick used. I mean, he probably took lunch in between taking those shots. And then, 30 takes later, they were like, guy in the back just punched holes and stuck it up and they spliced it in.
Well,
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened.
I'm getting ready to say it probably took him 6 months to make that damn one little scene.
Yeah, I think they tested that on Hollywood Weapons and wasn't able to do it because the firearms themselves just aren't going to be accurate enough to do like what Riggs did.
And hold up, wait a second. Let's stop disrespecting cinema. And if we're going to talk about a firearm smiley face, let's go back to Tackleberry in Police Academy in the proper smiley face.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about if we go back to Police Academy and Tackleberry and blow up the silhouette target? And then we have the RSO come over and say, "Son, where'd you get that?" And you answer with, "My mom gave it to me."
That'd be the answer I'd give. Let her go to jail. I'm not going down for that.
Exactly. Actually, anybody else go to a range that would have an RSO other than Kingpin?
Nope.
Yeah, the indoor range we go to has them.
No, my backyard is mine. My range.
And say there's only one indoor range around me, and the times that I've been at that shop, if people are shooting, normally the shop owner is the only person in the shop anyway, so he's not actually directly supervising the range. So I'd have to say no RSO there, and the outdoor ranges never have anybody acting as an RSO.
Both the local areas here, we don't have you just go down, throw $5, and you can go shoot or whatever. Not $5. I know that'd be crazy, right? But we don't have ranges you can just walk into locally. We have clubs you can join. So either one you go to, there's basically, depending what range you're looking for, some are outside, some are in. One club has a lot more to offer than the other, but there's pros and cons of both or whatever. But needless to state, you get like a key card, 24/7 access unless there's some type of events going on, and there's no ROs. Everything's on camera, so if you do something stupid, you'll get kicked out of the club or held liable or whatever the case is. But pretty much do what you want to do.
You ain't gonna pay for it anyway.
What's that?
I said you're a cheap bastard. You ain't gonna pay the goddamn club membership.
I was in it for a while, but man, the one I was in, they'd harass you about these spaghetti dinners, all this shit. It was like a club thing. I'd work, kids. I'd go down 11:30 after kids went to bed. All this stuff, got all my shit done. I can just go do, trucks ready to go. I can get out of the house or whatever. I ain't got time to go down every other weekend for spaghetti dinners and shit like this. So I don't know. I'd go in the middle of the night. Usually would have the place to myself. It was nice, but it got old quick because it was an indoor range, the one I was in. And, you push the button, it comes back. You can stick your paper up, all that. But it's just, unless you're sighting in or really enjoy bullseye shooting, it just wasn't for me. Getting out, getting dirty, different movements, using things for state stability. I mean, I don't know. I just like being in it instead of just standing there and pulling a trigger. Like that bench shooting, that's like golf with shooting to me. Not saying there's not a spot for it or whatever, or it should be looked down upon, but I like movement. It's just my thing. Like the whole running gun stuff. I love all that. Yeah. Done it with kids, all that stuff. We've done little challenges, shoot your old SIM cards. We do challenges with that. Used to stuff to keep you moving, basically. But everybody likes different things, so that's why a lot of you guys will discuss your ranges or seeing Squib's range where everybody's up your ass and you got you're aiming through this little boxway and stuff. I mean, it just seems foreign to me. I don't know. The way I see it, I'm looking for a place to shoot, not a babysitter or somebody to be looking over my shoulder the whole time. This same thing with a chainsaw or a dirt bike or anything else. You know what I mean? Is the way I see it.
Hey Rob, that range you go shooting at, that little place you got.
Yeah.
How many yards is that?
Shit, I don't even know. I've been shooting handgun mostly lately there, so I've got it broken down in 10 feet sections. So, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. And it would depend to what point, because there's some videos where it's back further. Technically, I can back off and add a little length to it as well. So, in general, it's like about 100-foot area, like the area I use most.
So Rob, check this out. The range that's like a mile from my house. If you go there, because you're like, oh, just throw $5 in. If you look at the board of all the rules and everything, it says if you're a non-member or anything, you just throw $1 in the box, you go shoot. Now, technically, if you look at the box now, when you go up to pay to shoot, if you're a non-member, it says $3 on the box, but smart person would just read the range rules, which there's like 25 of them on that damn board. But right there, black and white, it clearly says it's just $1 to shoot if you're a non-member. So you can just walk up there, pay $1, do all the shooting you want. Granted, you got those other pesky 24 rules, one of which is, no rapid fire or any BS like that. So, but I know $1 at the range is right up your alley.
Yeah, but honestly, in PA, I would rather pay the $20 for the permit to shoot on whatever they call it there, public land,
on the game
and
lands.
then just walk 5 feet over and do whatever the hell I want, and your rules can kiss my ass.
But would you go to the game lands 20 times to do that?
Probably, yeah. That's what I do basically now in New York. So
Because technically, the only
true.
places that you're able to do that on are the designated shooting ranges from the game commission. Like, you can't just technically go out to the public hunting grounds or anything and just decide to start shooting. They frown upon that for some reason. I guess it's because people are walking through the woods and like, not with where I would be doing that, but okay. I mean,
Well,
unless it's
you're on the
hunting
other
season.
side of PA. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What I've been told is by the locals here, and that's what they do. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to do what the locals do. So not to try to argue with it or whatever, but you know what I mean?
No, it's cool.
That's what they, because I've been told the same or conflicting things about stuff in my state too, or traveling rallies and like shit. The state troopers, PA, they didn't even think like you issued New York people permits. Like they were freaking out at me, like asking me where I got my permit and all this crap, and and that's a damn officer. Like you'd figure they'd have some clue. So I
Yep.
you know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, so in my area, I could probably get away with my impression because that's what I'm told by the people that do it that live there. I don't know. Yeah. But maybe in your area that is frowned upon. I don't, and that might be a problem. But yeah, here I don't have to pay shit. I can just drive out to the woods, and as long as it's not an actual park grounds, basically if it's not marked no shooting, it's open game. So that's how it works for New York.
Yeah, here in PA, 'cause there's been a bunch of stink over it, especially in recent years, because the game commission and the state government have kicked around an idea to actually require a permit just to go walking through the public woods and all that.
Man, that's crazy.
It sounds crazy, but at the end of the day, you got people who are hunters, all that are paying for those conservation efforts, everything else. And then because, people do want to go out and, I want to target shoot or something. And there's not that many of the setup ranges by the Pennsylvania Game Commission, which even then you got a whole litany of rules that you got to deal with them. And then plus you got to worry about if a game officer is going to show up, and then, you got to have your license on you and all kinds of other crap. It's a friggin' nightmare. But, so you got these people that are just going through the woods, having no idea what game could be in. They're thinking, oh, I'm not in the city, so I'm going to let my dog off the leash. So that then somebody's dog starts chasing a deer or something. In Pennsylvania, if a dog's running deer, it's 100% legal to shoot it. Period. It's harassing game. No questions asked. That is as good as another game animal at that point. So I think that's created some issues in the past. So, a lot of the contention is simply that hunters are paying for the conservation efforts to, one, keep the game at a controlled standard, but also the grounds. And then all these other people are going out, they're able to use the grounds and whatever else for whatever means they wish, but they're not contributing.
I would think you contribute with your taxes. That's why, I'm shocked you even got to pay, period, even as a hunter to go out personally. So that I would argue on that aspect. I think, the land is for everybody to use all the way down to possibly school field trips or parents taking kids out to learn about something or grandma going for a walk. Granted, there's different areas that are highly, that are advised better for others. And that's why, in New York's example, if, it's like a swimming area, all that type of stuff, obviously there's no hunting or shooting, if it's a area that's set aside that doesn't allow for all that, then there's no restrictions. So locals will go up, walk their dog, all that. People come up from New York City, pick mushrooms, and other people are out there shooting responsibly. Some people are out there slamming back a, case of beer and shooting anything that moves, and it all works. I don't approve of some of that other behavior for state, but in a sense, we're all paying for it with the tax money. And then you got people that destroy shit, and you got other people that try to clean shit up. So it's just kind of the cycle of life. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, you're not. Let's say, because I agree with you a lot of those points. It really shouldn't be any permits required or anything like that. But a lot of those management efforts, things like that, while it's taxpayer funded in the long run, if you're talking about like the salaries of the game commission officers, things like that, but the actual projects and whatnot to manage the forestry and things like that, a lot of times come out of an allotment, at least from those licenses and whatnot. So I guess you could say it kind of supplements the taxpayer dollar. But like I said, I agree with you. It really shouldn't be that way in the first place, because if it's public land, you should just be able to do whatever the hell you want to do, as long as you're not, polluting or, any crap like that.
Yeah, destructful to the land, or building permanent structures, or, obviously a meth lab out there in the woods isn't ideal or anything, but yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's strange because the way the different places are. So being highly restricted, I think it's funny that I can do what I want in the woods,
Yep.
And yet other states, you have to be in designated areas. Or shockingly, because I damn near learned the hard way in PA. Let me tell you, I won't get all into detail, but I had no idea you needed a permit to shoot off. That's foreign to me. Even in Wyoming. Public land's public land. You can do whatever the hell you want out there. Just leave it like you found it. You know what I mean? So, I was shocked that right here, almost literally next door, it's a total different system. But
yeah, I mean, it's like Arizona and Nevada. People just go out in the desert and shoot.
Hey man, I gotta hop off here, guys. But it was good to hang out with you this evening.
We sucked all the fun out of it for Jason. I'm sorry.
I hope you guys all have a good rest of the week, man. I'll see you as soon as I can.
Peace out, Jay.
All right,
Later, Jason.
Take care, Jason.
Yeah, and part of the issue, Rob, is probably just the fact of the hunter density that Pennsylvania ends up with. I don't know if it still holds true, but I don't know, about 15 years ago or so, when I did a school report, one of the things that I had dug up was the fact that Pennsylvania is the second most hunted state in the country, only second to Texas. So, if hunters just went out like that and used the game lands to sight in and do whatever else, that'd be a shit ton of just stray flying bullets. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong, because at the end of the day, how many people are actually ever out in the woods when it's not rifle season or anything like that, but at the same time, if you're talking well over 1 million people just decide to go out and use the public lands as their target range whenever they feel like, that could get a little dicey.
Maybe, but yeah, I could see better. I don't know. Instead of collecting money on that aspect, you collect the money on the people out there dragging their TVs and leaving it.
Oh, for sure. And that's another
hit
big
those
thing.
guys with some serious freaking fines. Because
Yep.
it seems like I don't know. I've never seen somebody like that get busted. Like I've thought it. Never. Well, I don't know. It seems like they should get dealt with in some cases, but it doesn't seem like they do. They put up a place I'm at, a new like board that with the maps and everything on it, had like a plexiglass face or whatever. Somebody shot the shit out of it, and then they busted it open. Like the thing wasn't even finished being put up, and it was already destroyed. Like, I never even got to see it done. So
Yeah.
it's like, what the hell, So then instead of putting it in, they were putting in a little seating area with some benches because there's like an overlook. They just took all the shit right back out. So, like somebody screwed it up for all. I'd like to see those somebody's prosecuted. So I'm sure they can get funding from the idiots in that sense. Not that I want to officers popping out behind every tree or something. So I guess I got to be careful what I ask for. But I don't know. So maybe I'm at a crossroads here. I don't really know.
Yeah, I'd say I get what you're saying there too, but at the end of the day, would it provide funding or would it deplete funds after you go through the prosecution of everybody and you're paying district attorney and everything else and clogging up your legal system? I mean, granted, the people that are going out, because that's another huge problem, at least in my area, you'll see a spot that's gotten cleaned up, and in another year or two, there's just a bunch of tires, refrigerators, random lazy boy shit like that. And I'm just thinking of one spot in particular, but there's numerous other ones that I could think of off the top of my head too. And it's just atrocious. People, and a lot of it's probably being done under the cover of darkness, and then that would also bring into the fact, well, now if you're gonna be trying to watch those areas, now you're probably paying game commission officers overtime, and what the hell kind of things are they going to have in the first place? Are you providing night vision, stuff like that? So a lot of logistical crap there, and I don't think there's a real good answer either way.
Well, to your point there, I mean, they watch one spot, people are just going to go somewhere else and dump it somewhere else that they're not watching.
Well, I mean, they would nail the first couple, but once word got around, then that's what would happen, is they just go elsewhere.
Yeah. There is no real answer to the problem because people are going to be assholes and are going to do shit like that, and unless you catch them red-handed.
Especially when you figure Pennsylvania is covered by 2/3 wood still. So, I mean, there's plenty of places for them to go do that shit. I mean, hell, what was it? 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. That idiot shot and killed those 2 state police officers. He was running around in the woods for a month before they found him.
Yeah.
And that's only because he ran out of provisions and finally got desperate and started wandering through people's backyards.
There's places in PA where they have literally 2 telephone poles down for each tire to go over. And they call that a bridge. Like, yep. You'll come across and just end up in a field. And you literally got to drive 5 miles an hour because you don't want to drop in a hole or something and look around. And then you got to cross the field to find the other side of the damn road. Like, it's crazy. Like, there's a lot of weird shit in PA that I've seen. Some areas where I would not want to break down. Let me tell you what. Once I got lost, I couldn't find a gas station for the life of me. Like, I ended up having to acquire a gas can, leave money, pray I didn't get shot, and I still basically ran out of gas by the time I found a gas station. Like it's horrible. Some of those areas out there, like I call it like a tri. There's a triangle kind of. If you look at the map, where it's just nothing but woods. You got highways on each end of the triangle. In the center, it's all woods. There's a few areas like that where, yeah, it's all zigzag dirt roads. Like people literally sit on their porch with their shotgun and give you that deliverance look when you drive by. No joke.
As long as they got the shotguns in your hand, you're all right. Once you hear the banjos, that's when you start worrying.
And I'm not saying all of PA, but I've seen some crazy parts, man.
Shit, Woods is out there talking about pentagrams and dead goats. Damn.
The hell did I miss?
Reed Woods is coming.
Sketchy shit in the woods his entire life. Found a dead goat and a pentagram up by North Bend, Washington, he said.
I remember him telling me that story.
Yeah. God, when I was in high school, my friends and I were walking through Riverview Park in Pittsburgh and came across what looked like somebody had set up a little altar and had a little fun with a sacrifice on a cat or something. The only thing that was there was a skeleton. The skin and shit was all gone. So it's not just out in Washington that you see that kind of shit. Some freaky ass people out there, no matter where you're at. Makes you wonder about some people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another thing I was going to say, Rob, it very well could be different over on the eastern side of the state where you've talked to people, because the game commission officers around here are colossal assholes. If they've got a more people-friendly officer over there, he may not care about stuff like that, but the officer here that's in charge of my area, flat out, he nails everybody to the friggin' wall. Does not give a shit. No leniency. If you violated something, he's gonna nail you for it. And that's not just me being hyperbolic or anything. I've actually heard those words out of his mouth before, and I know a guy that had interviewed with him to be game commission officer. I worked with him when I worked corrections, and when he went to the interview, he was told, "Hey, that game commission officer was specifically bragging about how high his fine rate is compared to the rest of the state, and how high his conviction rate is and everything." And my buddy said, "Hey, don't you believe in the spirit of the law?" And he's like, "Nope, we don't do that shit here." So that could be another big factor in all that.
Probably. I mean, it's strangely things are different, and
Yep.
it's amazing even through counties in some cases how different they'll address something. So,
Well, yeah, but it's like even like your carry permit you're talking about. Because last year, 2 years ago, maybe I had called my sheriff's office because I was hoping just to do a quick little interview with the sheriff on the process for getting a out of state concealed carry permit. Just for people that may be wanting to do so and whatnot, but weren't sure how to go about it or anything like that. Which he, just had them tell me over the phone, "Oh, you do this, this, this." But he followed it up with, "It's at the discretion of the sheriff in that county. If the sheriff in that county doesn't want to issue out-of-state permits, doesn't have to. Period. End of story. You could be perfectly eligible for it, but if he doesn't want to do out-of-state permits, tough shit."
Yeah, I believe that because I, contacted locally right over the border to see if I could, where I got to go or whatever, and I'll be honest, they were dicks. They were like, "We don't do that," like leading me to believe that it's a fallacy. You can even have it done.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which is
then
the
so
funny
I
thing too,
did a
that you
little
can have
research.
it done. Sorry, Rob, go ahead.
I was just saying, with a little research and a lot longer of a drive, I'm in and out in 20 minutes, and I got the ID in my pocket, 100%
Yep.
approved, no problem. Like, have a great day, treated me great, no problems. Like, it felt like I was doing something crazy after going through New York's process. Like, you sure it's okay? That's how messed up it was. Yeah, and then there's other parts where they mail it to you. I've heard so.
That's
Things
my
like
county
this.
does that.
So depending where you are, I mean, you hear, I mean, there's three different things right there. You know what
Yep.
I mean? So it's crazy.
At West Virginia, as long as their printers are working, you're in and out in 5 minutes with your concealed carry permit.
Yeah, here in PA, in my county, walk into the sheriff's office. After you go through the metal detectors, all that happy horse crap.
We don't even have metal detectors at the sheriff's department.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Friggin'. But go through all that rigmarole just because, I got my big ass belt buckle on, then I got a belt that has a steel core lining, and then friggin', I got my blind stick, I got friggin' metal buttons on my jacket, all kinds of good shit. So, I even go, I'm like, I look at them, I'm like, I'm gonna set this thing off. They're
So
like,
you're the
yeah,
guy
probably.
You're the guy that's got to be
So-
strip searched to go through the metal detector, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. Which, I mean, they're real understanding and whatnot. So, they just have me open up my belt buckle real quick and stuff like that, and make sure there's nothing behind it and whatnot. But so then you go in. Now, if you already have your application filled out, you hand them the application, your $20. You wait for them to say your name. You go sign something. They take your photo, and then 3 to 5 business days, I've got my new permit in the mail. But it would be nice just to be able to walk out with the thing. But the other thing I was going to say was it does kind of boggle my mind that anybody is able to get an out-of-state license in PA, seeing as residents, I can't go to a different county to get my concealed carry. I have to go to the county that I reside in. So if I've got a sheriff that's a dick, tough crap. Can't go anywhere else.
I was gonna tell you go to the place I go to. It's probably a drive, but you come in pre-COVID. With the COVID thing, I had to go back after my 5 years or whatever, and do it again basically. But in that sense, I had to call ahead to let them know, and it was like an appointment schedule thing. But usually you just show up any business day, walk in the door, tell them what you're there for. They'll point over to the table where the papers are. You fill out one form, hand it in, give them $20. They say, have a seat. We'll print your ID up. They do whatever they do there, do a check, they print it out, they hand it to you. They say, thank you. Have a great day. It's just that easy. Like,
yeah, it definitely is nice in PA. When I hear some of the horror stories that other states have to go through, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, like New York.
Yeah, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware. Pretty much any of the states that border PA except for Ohio or West Virginia.
Well, even here, I had a friend. We took the same CCW class, and he got his permit in the mail because he lives in a different county. They mailed it to him after he took his class. At that point, I mean, don't get me wrong, he had a million hoops to hop through, but at that point, they just mailed it to him. For me, at that point, I still had to write a letter to the judge requesting permission and explaining why I feel I need a firearm. You know what I mean?
Good
Basically,
God.
Yeah, go through a bunch of like one of the most degrading things I've done. Like, but if you don't put it a certain way, and that's what you're paying for in a class, that's most of the class is how to fill out your damn paperwork. And if you say the first thing that comes to mind, like, well, it's America, it's my right, blah, 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 done. You ain't getting it. Like, you got it. There's a format to it. So you go through all that, kiss their ass. And then, I get an approval back to say, yeah, yes or no. You know what I mean? So where my friend, he's already got his shit, had it for a while. Yeah. And that's just a difference in the counties in New York as well. It's crazy.
When they removed the good and substantial reason thing from Maryland's clause for the concealed carry, you still had to answer the question because they didn't rebuild the website. They just no longer looked at that stuff, but you still had to answer the question to get through the list. I put Second Amendment and self defense. So screw Maryland.
One of these
Let's see it.
days, I will get my fingerprints done so I can finish applying for my Maryland permit because they do out of state.
You know
Really?
what pissed me off?
Yeah,
Sorry. Here they made you go to this certain company, pay them like $110 for your fingerprints. So, and then, it's digital or whatever. Right. And then after that, you go down to the sheriff's and then they fingerprint you the old way right there. So, basically like it wasn't even needed for their system. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand. It just seems like I got ripped off because I got fingerprinted twice. And, seems like I paid for it both times.
it's crazy. Well, I think we need to let Buck get to what he wanted to talk about. So, what was it you were wanting to talk about, Buck, about the black powder pistols yesterday?
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting one here soon, and I don't know jack shit about them. So really, anything would help.
So, are we talking like flintlock pistol, or cap and ball?
Well, at one time I was thinking about getting like one of them flintlock pistol kits
Mm-hmm.
and build it myself and everything, and then get a rifle.
Okay. If you're gonna do one of those wood flintlock kits, are you good at working with wood? Because there's a lot of finishing work that needs to be done on those.
Or like drilling holes and shit.
Drilling holes, sanding, making sure measurements are right.
Oh no, I just better go buy one then.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't tell you that, but my uncle bought one, and basically he had to finish the stock before he could put it together.
Yeah. All right. I didn't know that. I just thought you can put a little bit of sanding work into it, then put it together and go on from there.
Yeah. Oh, the thing with those, it's just like going back to the old days when when those were the state of the art thing. They all got to be hand fitted because the way the locking mechanism and those things work and everything. So you got to have everything just right, and that's not something that they're going to do in a factory. What they're going to do, they're going to get you the rough shape, put it in the package, and send it to you. And you got to finish up the work and making sure everything's done. It's basically like the flintlock version of doing an 80% lower or an 80%
Oh,
Glock
okay. Yeah.
frame.
Does it come with duct tape?
No.
That's crazy, man. I've seen those kids you're talking about, I think, but yeah, seems strange. It seems like maybe you'd want to do that if you were into wood projects and firearms, or wanted to, put like a custom look or something to it. So
Yeah, I ain't realized that much involved in it. I just thought you could take it
Mhm.
apart and put your own finish on it and start working it
No,
together.
no, it comes. They come in parts, and you got to assemble all the little parts and everything.
So what kind of gun are you talking about getting? Like
I
just a black
was,
powder,
yeah, black powder, the old flintlock ones,
right?
and a rifle, just something to hang up on the wall and shoot it if I want to.
Yeah, you can buy them already assembled. I mean,
Yeah,
um,
I just thinking of something do or something, a little hobby or some shit. But
How much does
no,
something like that cost?
top of my head, I have no idea.
I want to say like it's been a while since I checked, but it was like about two something,
Yeah,
maybe
for the
three.
kits, the kits
Yeah.
that you assemble them yourself, and you got to do all the staining and the uh, shellac or polymer or whatever you decide to put over top of the stain to protect the gun to seal it. Yeah, those generally at one point they were 150 for a cheap one. Now who knows with the inflation and everything. I haven't looked at them in a long time.
Can't you
yeah,
get those things at gun store, like gun shows? Like all the half the tables at gun shows got those kind of guns on 'em?
Already assembled ones, yeah, you can find that stuff at gun shows, but gun show prices anymore are probably ridiculous on them too.
Yeah, the last ones I looked at were kind of expensive. Where everything was.
think the kit I've seen last like that was somewhere around that $150, but this was a while back though. So
Yeah, but the kits you can pick them up at Bass Pro, Cabela's,
they
any
it
place like that will have
almost
should
looks
have them.
like a wooden rubber band gun that you got to finish.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got that kind of look to it. So even though it's not a rubber band gun, but it's
Yeah,
what it reminded me of. I don't know.
yeah. Defense dad actor, he's saying that his buddy just finished a flintlock rifle. He said turned out beautiful, but the two of them also do a lot of custom woodwork, and he said that it was 900 for the kit for his, and then he had to buy other parts for it too.
Damn,
Yeah,
nothing like paying for a job.
those rifle kits are a little bit higher. I looked at them too. That's why I say I was gonna go with a pistol.
Well, how many flintlock rifle shots would Jerry Mitchell get off before you emptied your 10-round magazine?
One.
Yeah, especially if I built it. I have advantage on that. Hey, but what about those starter kits like at was it 1861 Navy black
Oh,
ball
you're
and
talking.
powder thing?
Uh, yeah, if you want something like that to just get the idea of how to do it before you go buying a better quality one, like you can get a Traditions kit for not that much and play around with that so you get the idea of what you're doing. But
Yeah.
honestly, cap and ball revolvers are the loading press built into the firearm. Every cap and ball revolver is a single stage press. You're just loading the. If you if it crudest terms, if you think about it, you're putting your powder, you're putting your wad, you're putting your bullet, and then you're pulling the handle to press it all together. The only thing you're not doing is putting it in a shell casing. The shell casing is the cylinder itself.
Didn't Travis do a show about this like 2 weeks ago or something?
Did he? I don't know.
I don't know if he did or not. But I
Pretty
remember
sure.
Squib when they had that out there at the ring, the Prairie thing, Thunder on the Prairie. I know Squib and him did a little video on where he was teaching Travis how to do it with his.
Can you go to a website Rich and show Kingpin what basically like a visual of one of these kits?
Oh, we've talked about them before.
You gotta show me a kid. I ain't buying that crap. That's bucks.
No, I'm just saying so that way, because it seemed like you were having trouble visualizing what we were referring to. So, and if
No,
there
what
might be other people that are too. I don't know.
No, what had happened was I had stopped paying attention to what you guys were talking about. And then I started wanting to pay attention again, and I knew Buck was the one that brought the topic up. So I just asked him to start talking about it again. And I know that you see all these kinds of guns at gun shows all the time, so you could probably just go to a gun show and buy one and blast it off in your backyard.
I'm just doing a quick search and I'm seeing kits like 350,
Yeah.
438. I mean, I won't say where and all that, so we don't have a problem. But general prices 251.
What are they selling as a kit? Are you talking about like a stock and then the other mechanics of a firearm, or are you talking about like stain and sanding paper and stuff like that?
I don't know. Let me click on and see. So
the stuff you got to use to finish it. Like if you're talking about the flintlock, you got to buy your own sandpaper, and it doesn't come with any of that stuff. It just comes with the wood block that's roughly cut out into the shape, and it comes with the mechanical parts that you got to put into the stock.
Yeah, kind of like a Lego kit. Not Lego kit, but yeah, like a build kit, like an AR or whatever. You got all every little trigger guard, all your little pins, every little thing that comes with it, barrel, push rods. I'm looking at a rifle here, but it doesn't say anything. Trying to hit like includes or whatever, or more information.
Just order the one that you're looking at and send it to Buck's house.
This is a 50 cal 28 inch wood blued adjustable sight.
Yeah, you can send that to my house. We're a free state. I ain't got to go through no FFL.
Yeah, Buck doesn't live in Ohio.
Comes with instructions, like tells you how to build it.
Shit, I read them last.
Who reads the manual? Good Lord.
I know. Manuals are for sissies.
The person that reads the manual is the person that messed the thing up and is too embarrassed to tell anybody that they messed it up, so they're trying to unmess it up by reading the manual.
It's
the first question that the bud's gonna say when you admit that you messed it up is, "Did you read the manual?"
Yeah.
RTFM.
Yeah, I don't see any kind of sandpaper or anything like that, or nothing that comes with it. What they mean by kit is they give you all the pieces. So, at least from this company. So.
Oh, that's all. That's gonna be any of the companies, any of those muzzle-loading pistol kits or rifle kits. That's all you're getting.
That's all direct ship, right? Like you don't need FFL for none of that stuff.
No, unless you're like Jason and live in Ohio.
Ohio, yeah.
No, it does look like a cool project to do with like a 12-year-old kid or something. You know what I mean? Because it takes some time and work on it together and bullshit, and make some memories, and eventually you can take it out and play with it. Yeah.
Damn, that does sound like a good idea, but damn, I would have to buy 5 of them son of a bitches.
Okay.
You'd be a master by that point.
Okay, Buck, we'll put this in perspective for you real quick, okay? I'm looking at a website right now. They have the Traditions Trapper pistol kit for $389. They have the finished one for $409. Same exact one.
That $409 sounds all right to me.
So you're going pistol, not rifle.
Yeah, but have you seen the prices on the rifle? I wanted a rifle to look pretty up on the wall.
Rob just said the rifles, but you just said $300, right, Rob?
Rob, was that the rifle or the pistols?
Rob was talking about the rifle. I mentioned the
That was a
pistol.
rifle. I just threw something in the back chat about another place and whatnot because I don't know what the rules are, so I don't want to say something I'm not supposed to say. But another place has a pistol for 318 that you're probably familiar with. I don't know if you're
Yeah,
if you deal with them or not, but whatever. So,
yeah. I stop by that place all the time when I go to Virginia.
all right. So I mean, that's an idea of the price, I guess. I mean, obviously it's just one example, but that's 50 cal too.
But those
9.75 inch
ball and cap
barrel.
pistols, I don't need no FFL dealer for that. Neither do I.
For what?
Like in ball and cap pistols.
No, cap and ball? No.
Yeah, cap and ball and cap, whatever. That shows you how much I know about them.
No, you don't need anything for that. The site I'm on, Rob, they have a blunderbuss kit for $450.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you were
Go ahead
talking
and-
about wanting a blunderbuss.
Blunderbuss kit, yeah.
Yeah, you buy that, Rob,
Yeah,
and
man.
I'll ship you all the marbles and rocks that I can find. I'll feed the thing for you for the rest of its life.
Yeah, you just need to tell me that site, man.
It's where is it? It is muzzleloaders.com. Muzzle-loaders.com.
So I'll write this down.
I think I'm gonna wait till I go to Tulsa in April and just buy a cannon. Shoot that bitch off every morning before I go to work.
Get yourself a little signal gun. I forget who it was. Somebody at Great American Outdoor Show was selling them.
So, do you got the patience to take and load up and pack the cylinders and do all that kind of stuff? Put your bore butter on and all that kind of crap, and then go out to the range and it not fire?
No, not regular. No.
I believe I could.
You load a cap and ball properly, you're not going to have that issue. Cap and ball revolver is going to be a little bit more reliable than the black powder rifle that Jason was shooting. Typically speaking, I mean they can suffer from the same issue, but it's not going to be as prevalent.
No, I'm talking about like regular revolvers that people pack and they pull the trigger, nothing happens.
Yeah, that's a cap and ball revolver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talk about Jason and his 4-foot trudge through snow bear hunt.
I'm just saying that the revolver that you're talking about is generally more reliable than the rifle that Jason was trying to use, is what I'm saying.
Poor Jason, man. Can you imagine that? The deer's jumping out, looking at you like you're stupid, and you just the process he was explaining, like that was funny. That's
when
just
you take that's when you take the rifle and you bash it in the head.
Yeah, pull your damn knife out or sidearm or something. Well, I guess
should
you
have had a
can't.
damn bayonet on it. At least you could have jabbed him with.
That's why back in the day they used to carry swords when they went hunting. They had a special sword. It was called a hunting sword, and that's what it was for.
Yeah, it's like Jason killed. There's going to be a headline next deer season. Ohio man trampled to death when his muzzleloader fails to go off during a freak thunderstorm that he shouldn't have been out muzzleloading nothing in the first place with. And the deer laughed at him and stomped him into the ground.
He gets so pissed he has a heart attack right there on the spot. Just drops.
Or worst case scenario, he just throws his gun on the ground and becomes like a beacon.
That'd be horrible. I don't know how people do it, man. Don't know how they do it.
Jason will be the guy. He'll have that happen. He'll play dead, and then the animal will bury him like in the Bugs Bunny cartoons. What's that?
Either that or he'll have one of those like nature awakenings for Mother Gaia, and he'll strip all his clothes off and go live with the deer and defend them against hunters and stuff.
Play dead, play dead. Elmer plays dead, and the bear buries him. Anyway, I think we've gone on long enough with this, unless you guys got something else.
Buck didn't say he bought a gun yet.
Or 5.
Yeah, I haven't bought one yet. I've been thinking about it. Some little project I can do. I still
that
need
blunt-
score.
Maybe you need a blunderbuss, man.
I get that every time I go to Taco Bell.
You're supposed to bag that up and take it back for a deposit.
Yeah, it'd be like Jason asked for my money back.
That's the core charge.
That don't look right to me. I want a refund.
So are you wrapping it up, Rich?
I guess we can wrap it up, and nobody else has anything else. If Buck doesn't have any more questions about anything.
No, not really. Like I say, I'm just kind of looking into it, trying to get somewhat of an idea.
Okey-doke. So I guess we can start wrapping it up then. Kingpin, you got anything you want to plug or anything before we get out of here?
No.
Oh, all right. What about you, Rob?
No. Thanks for joining us. Well, actually, RNL Displays. So, if you're a type of person that likes to stare at your babies, treat them with respect, and give them an American-made display. But other than that, have a great evening, everybody. Eat a salad.
Okay. Buck, what about you?
No, not really. Just thanks for the invite. Thanks for everybody in the chat. That's about it.
No problem. Thank my guests for jumping in and being on the panel tonight, and everybody out there watching. And if you haven't done so, go over and check out the playlist that I've been putting together from the Great American Outdoor Show this year. So far, I've got 10 videos uploaded up over there on that playlist with all kinds of subjects. We got one on barbecue sauce, one on crossbows, put one up today about a flamethrower, and then got one of custom-made leather holsters. Some about these things known as, guns, I think they call them. And then there's one about a knife company. So go over there, check that one done here, check out that playlist, and until next week, we will bid y'all adieu for this time being. Catch y'all later.